Hey, everybody. I'm your host, Kenny Flannery, for the Freestyle Travel Show, and this episode number 5, is about India Jane Julia Cook, a girl I've been traveling with for the last almost 2 weeks, more or less. She's been on the road for about 2 years, just shy of 2 years, so thought it'd be cool to sit down with her and get her on the show for just to hear her pretty abridged story about what she's been up to, how she got on the road, how she's been enjoying it. We met actually here in Nepal through the adventure trip that I won. It's pretty funny how that all kind of turned out. So thanks to Sierra Nevada Brewery out of Chico, California, and now Asheville, North Carolina, I won this photo contest. If you've been listening to the prior episodes, you know. The last episode, I pretty much told about the whole thing, the paragliding, the bungee jumping, all the crazy stuff I've got to do for free since I've been here. And it was actually a trip for 2, and I tried. It's amazing how hard it is to give away a free trip, kind of. I offered it to a few people. Kind of did everything shy of just like blasting out on Facebook or something who wants to go, but I don't know. Like when the rubber hits the road, not everyone wants to ride. So yeah, it kind of got to the point where I was pretty much just gonna go it alone, which would have been fine. You know, it was a pretty fun adventure. But I posted some vague stuff on couch surfing just because I figured it's easier to convince somebody who might already be in Nepal than trying to get someone to come out here, pull away from their job or their previous travels, whatever. So it's pretty vague. I didn't want to post on there just straight up like who wants to go bungee jumping for free and stay in a bunch of places for free all over Nepal and eat food without paying any money, just because I figured I'd probably get flooded. So I was pretty vague. Posted on the groups, posted like an event, literally called like the Mysterious Adventure or something like that. And, no one really said anything, but then it got to be 2 or 3 days before the trip was about to begin. And yeah, I got a message from India, or Jane, as she's kind of calling herself now around here, just because it's kind of confusing being so close to India and she's about to go to India. And she was like, "Yeah, I'm free. What's going on? Probably down." So I explained it to her, and within minutes, I got a response saying she was totally up for it. So we met right as the trip sort of began there in Kathmandu. Spent the whole 10 days going around, riding elephants, doing all the crazy stuff that we did. And after the trip was over, which updated on the last episode, everything we did do, if you want to hear about that. The very last day we were supposed to go kind of mountain biking around Kathmandu, but it was pretty good downpour, so that didn't happen, but that's okay. So afterwards, she went and found a couch surfer in Kathmandu to stay with, and I went over to my buddy Kishore's place. He's a friend I met through a different friend in California. Actually, the guy who pretty much talked me into going to Nepal, because at that time I had sort of won the trip, and I could decide between all these places, and I was sort of torn between Tanzania and South Africa and some other places, and Nepal was one of them. And him being from Nepal, after talking to him, I was like, that sounds really awesome. I'm gonna go do that. So yeah, so I stayed with him, and it was pretty fun. Kind of a fun night. The first night, getting back with him, he had drank pretty heavy the night before, I guess, and was just tired. But then that night, some of his friends were drinking again, and we ended up rolling with them. The one guy had a homestay, and he was real adamant about calling it a homestay. He didn't want it to be called a hotel or a hostel or anything like that. He's like, it's a home. I'm here with my mom, and it's a beautiful, beautiful place. I got birds jumping on the roof here. I don't know if you can hear that. I'll tell you where I am in a second. But yeah, so we're at his place, and he's bragging about it and showing us the stuff and talks us into staying there for the night instead of going back to Kishore's. We're like, all right, that's super cool. And yeah, once we agreed to stay there, the whiskey kind of came out, and we're all talking, and he's with this friend he hadn't seen more or less in like 15 years. And, they're kind of catching up on old stuff, and it's just funny. And he's just a real jovial guy, real friendly. He's suddenly he's like, I wasn't always this happy. I used to be kind of an angry dude. Used to punch people all the time, and around here, if you punch someone, you're a hero. I'm like, okay, just kind of laughing about it, and Kishore is kind of laughing too. And he's like, yeah, one time I got really mad at the neighbor, so just took my samurai sword and tried to chop his head off, but he blocked it. And then he just had these 4 fingers like hanging down, and the cops came and ended up going to jail. I'm just like, whoa, dude. And yeah, everyone's just kind of laughing. So, but yeah, I guess he went to jail for like 46 days. And the reason it was only 46 days is because I guess he had some family members who threatened the other crew that I guess he attacked, like, you better drop the charges or shit's gonna go down. And I don't know exactly how the legal system works here in Nepal, but I guess that's a thing you can do. You can have those people drop the charges after the fact or whatever it was. And yeah, he got out, and yeah, now he's just super happy dude, trying to be hospitable to people. Anyways, that was just kind of an interesting little night. So spent another day in Kathmandu, and then Kishore has a farm just north of Kathmandu, maybe 60 kilometers or something. And he was telling me a lot about that, and I really wanted to check it out. So I told India about it too, and she was down to come because we had already been talking about trying to do some kind of hike north of Kathmandu. So same direction. So anyways, we rendezvoused here. Neither of us have like proper phone service, and so we just agreed to both just get here. So I guess she got on a bus. I also thought about hitchhiking, but then there's this little micro bus that, even though it's like a 2 or 3 hour drive up here, it only costed about the equivalent of $1.10. So I'm like, all right, that's like Metro North or something. I'll just do that. And yeah, it seems like it would have been kind of difficult to hitchhike a little bit, just based on the minimal traffic on the road, how bad the roads are. I mean, like I said, it's only maybe 60 kilometers north of Kathmandu. It was like 2 or 3 hours driving. For those of you working with miles, I don't know, less than 50 miles, let's say, 40 miles, something like that. But yeah, not a lot of other cars on the road. So anyways, got up here. Indy was already here. Met Kishore's family. He's not here, but met his parents and some other folks. Not a lot of English to be spoke around here. Actually, our best communication has been with his brother, who's actually deaf. So a deaf Nepalese guy is our best communication, pretty much. But still works. Been cooking amazing meals. We've been helping out a little bit when we can, but mostly just hanging out on this deck, just looking out in this beautiful view. And I'll have some pictures posted of that because it's pretty amazing, especially the first morning watching the clouds roll in and whatnot. But yeah, a lot of reading, a lot of chilling out. So decided to interview a little bit India Jane, just kind of get her story out there. So not too long, but hope you enjoy it. It's just basically her first 2 years on the road, how she got started, what motivated her, and a few of the stories that she's acquired tripping around for the last few years. So enjoy it. Check it out. Here's India.
I'm India Jane from England. Met Kenny here in Nepal.
So I guess you can tell everyone how long you've been traveling for.
Okay, so I left home 2 years ago for an 8-month round trip gap year. Here I am 2 years later, still going.
And what kind of got you going?
Well, I guess I wanted something different. I wanted to change from 9 to 5.
Were you working a 9 to 5?
Yeah, in a restaurant and a bar.
That was in London?
Yeah.
And did you meet someone at the bar, like another couch surfer or someone traveling, or how'd you get the idea to just kind of pick up and go?
I mean, I guess I grew up with stories of my parents traveling all over the world, so I wanted to make some stories of my own.
That's cool. Didn't you say your guitar is your mom's?
Yeah, so the guitar I'm traveling with now traveled all around the world with my mum in the 70s and 80s. I'm taking it for a second lap.
Yeah. So you're working this job, and then what do? You just quit and leave, or did you think about it? And several more weeks or months went by while you were still working, bartending?
Yeah, maybe 4 months in advance, I booked a plane ticket to New Zealand, furthest possible point I could get to from London.
Pretty much, yeah.
And 4 months rolled by. I worked as hard as I could and saved up, and then I went.
Cool. And nobody else? Did you know anyone in New Zealand? Or?
Yeah, I flew out to New Zealand with a buddy. We traveled together for a little while, kind of got into the lifestyle of travel together.
Just in New Zealand or further?
Just in New Zealand.
How long were you there for?
3 months.
3 months? It's
Yeah.
like the whole visa, pretty much.
Yeah, as long as I could be.
So North Island, South Island, like everywhere?
Everywhere. I flew to the south, bought a van with my buddy, and we drove a lap of the south, took the ferry across, a lap of the north. Flew out of Auckland.
Nice. To where?
I flew to Bali, and that was my next stop. Australia, actually, was my next stop.
I was about to say, you skipped Australia? You're right there.
Didn't quite skip Australia. No, I was in Australia for a short amount of time, but enough to get a vibe.
Just like a couple weeks kind of thing? Or?
I think maybe a month, 6 weeks.
Okay. It's funny, you just skipped over 6 weeks. Australia. Like.
Kind of all blends together.
Yeah. So then to Bali?
Then to Bali. Got a bit more of a taste for something different, language barrier, and then pushed myself a little further into Java. And I think that was it. I was sold. I was like, can't go back to England.
How were you getting around after, I'm guessing New Zealand, you had the van the whole time?
Yeah.
And then once you were in Australia, how did you kind of get around there?
Lots of buses, hitchhiking. I was kind of tentatively getting into hitchhiking on my own for the first time there.
What was your first hitchhiking trip?
My first hitchhiking trip, I was hitchhiking back from a through hike, actually in New Zealand. I got picked up by a carpenter. He drove me back to my van. He's a great guy.
Cool.
Yeah, nothing too exciting happened, but
that was just like a 10-mile thing or more than that?
Yeah, maybe 10, 20 miles.
Was that the only time you hitchhiked in New Zealand?
No, a little bit. I don't like if my buddy would drive the van up somewhere and I'd go and meet him, or doing through hikes and getting back, things like that.
So in Australia, do you feel like you really dug in, or was it more like
I mean, Australia was like on my own. I really got into it. I got my confidence up. And that was kind of a big deal for me.
So did you ever hitchhike so far you had to camp out on the way or figure something out, or was it all like 2-3 hours or less?
Yeah, I didn't camp out in Australia too much. I mostly stayed on the coast, going from town to town or city to city. So I found places to stay.
With like couch surfers or hostels?
Mostly hostels, a little bit of Airbnb.
Oh, okay. That's cool. I've only used Airbnb one time.
Really?
Yeah.
There are some good cheap options on Airbnb.
Yeah, I've noticed. I think there's a minimum. Like, I think they have to charge at least like $15 or something like that. I don't know what it is.
I'm not too sure, but it sounds like a lot.
Yeah, it does sound like, because I've heard of some people who just have something real basic.
Yeah.
And they'll charge the minimum, but then when you get there, they're like, if you want to stay a few extra days, like, you can.
Maybe. Haven't come across that yet.
So when did you first use like couch surfing?
In America, actually, when I flew across to California.
So it was between Java and America?
Between that was Vietnam, Laos, Cambodia, Thailand. Yeah.
Quite a bit. So you flew right from Thailand to the U.S.?
I did, yeah.
Cool. Did you hitchhike at all in Asia?
No, not yet.
So it was all buses and...
All buses. I bought a motorbike in Southeast Asia and I drove across. So I didn't really need to hitchhike.
Yeah, motorbike is probably the way to go.
It was pretty exhilarating. Amazing experience.
Huh. How far can you go on like a tank of gas before you have to fill up? Like how many kilometers?
I mean, it depends on the bike, but on my $200 150cc bike, not too far.
It's like 100 kilometers or not even that?
Yeah, maybe with a push.
How much did that cost to fill up?
It was pretty cheap in Southeast Asia, maybe like $5 or something.
Okay, it's not too bad.
Yeah. I can't remember really, but something cheap.
Did you camp at all in Asia, or is it all hostels and...
Camping was like my backup option. I did end up camping a few times. I mean, I say my backup option. Sometimes I'd find a nice, peaceful beach and choose to stay there for a few days. But generally, I aimed for places to stay, hostels and guest houses and whatnot.
Is that with the tent you have now that you're thinking of getting rid of, or did you have no tent?
I had no tent.
Just a sleeping bag?
Yeah.
What time was it? Not rainy season, I'm guessing.
It was rainy season in Vietnam. Yeah.
Yes.
It rained a little bit.
Did you ever just get soaked while you were camping? Or?
Yeah, a few times. I had a wet sleeping bag to dry out, but
At least it was warm.
yeah.
So
Never got too cold.
So you fly from, I'm guessing, Bangkok to...
From Bangkok to New York.
Yeah.
Yeah. Visited my brother who lives in New York, and then traveled a little bit more hitchhiking and buses down the East Coast, visiting some family and stopping by friends.
Where did you hitchhike on the East Coast?
I hitchhiked, I guess, New York to Baltimore.
Okay. Damn, that's tricky. That's a tricky one, too.
Yeah. Well, outside of New York City, I made it out of the city, and then I caught a ride, I guess with a few different people. I can't even remember now. It was a long time ago. But
Were you already outside of the city, or did you get a bus or something, or a subway?
yeah, I took the train outside the city.
Just to get a good hitchhiking spot?
Yeah.
Yeah.
To get out the chaos, because trying to right from the center of a city is pretty tough.
I've heard of people trying to hitchhike in Times Square.
Oh, really?
Like that's with a sign that says Albany or something. And I guess they had success. There's enough people there. I don't think it was an immediate thing. I think it might have been like, we're going tomorrow.
Right. Sounds stressful, but...
Yeah, hitching in New York is not the easiest.
No.
So, you had friends, family in Baltimore?
Yeah, well, near Baltimore, I have a little bit of family. I think I was there for my auntie's birthday, my mother's birthday. We had a big family party, which was a nice reunion.
And how long had it been since you left London at that point?
18 months, I guess.
Okay. Where were you for like your 1 year travel anniversary? I guess were you still in Asia at that point, or?
Yeah, I guess I was. I don't know. Didn't really take note of it at the time, but I guess I must have been. Yeah.
Huh. So Baltimore, and then
Baltimore, south a little bit. I took a bus to Tennessee. I went hiking into North Carolina.
On the Appalachian Trail?
Yeah.
Nice.
A little chunk of it for a few weeks. And then I flew across to LA. From
Atlanta?
From Nashville.
Nashville.
Yeah.
Okay, how'd you like Nashville?
Interesting experience.
Good music, anyway.
Good music, yeah. Good vibe.
And so, when did the first couch surfing experience
First
come
couch surfing was in California.
Shortly after that flight, or much later?
Yeah, shortly after that flight. It was near the Salton Sea, in Southern California.
And how'd you find out about couch surfing?
I couldn't tell you. I don't know. Somehow I got word of it and looked into it, and yeah.
Okay, so you sent a message, and there.
Sent a message and got in back and forth contact for a while with a guy who owned a date farm. And I was sold. He had hot springs and said it was a peaceful spot. That's kind of what I was looking for.
Nice. How long did you end up staying there for that time?
I think just short of a week.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Cool. And you had hitchhiked there?
I hitchhiked there.
And you hitchhiked out?
And I hitchhiked out. I got picked up by a guy who was running a music festival, who invited me to go and work at Bhakti Fest in Joshua Tree.
Okay, you were telling me about that.
Yeah, so that was another amazing experience. Came from hitchhiking.
And with that one, did you work before the festival, after, or during?
During the festival. I got there, it had already started, and worked till the end of it, and then left.
How long was the festival? A weekend or a week?
I think the whole festival's 6 days, but I was there for maybe 3 or 4.
Okay, were you just like taking tickets or cleaning up?
I was working behind stage and giving drinks to the artists and cleaning up.
Taking your bartending game from London to
Yep.
California.
It was pretty good deal.
Nice. And then from there north, because you landed in Tahoe eventually.
Yeah, from there north, in and out of the coast. Yeah, made my way up to Tahoe.
pretty directly?
No, I stopped at most cities or towns along the way. Took me a while, a few months.
Few months?
I think so.
Where all did you
Or
stop?
maybe a month. Santa Barbara, um, Paso Robles, Costa Mesa. I don't know, all the little towns.
And were you like couch surfing or hosteling there or camping, or what was keeping your attention?
At that point, I was all couch surfing. I'd been sold.
Yeah. So like pretty much every single night.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who were some of the more interesting people that you met?
I met a Native American lady who she wasn't at home at the time, but she was going to a powwow. She invited me to join her. So I went to this powwow. It was a whole crazy experience of music and good, strange food I'd never heard of, and dancing and funny dresses and all sorts.
How long were you with her?
I think a week.
Yeah. We got some kind of crazy music in the background.
Yeah.
um,
So after the powwow, we went back to her house and I stayed for a few days.
okay, just kind of chill mode, or
Just chill mode, yeah. Getting to know her a little better. Hot springing and
yeah.
telling stories.
You went up through Big Sur?
I did, yeah.
Did you kind of get to pause at all, or just?
I pretty much did that all in one, up to Monterey.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, I camped tonight in just south of Monterey on the beach. And then went up to Santa Cruz.
Oh, what was in Santa Cruz?
I had a couple friends that I'd met down at the festival in Joshua Tree, who I met up with again. Yeah, and then couch surfing a little bit more. Couch surf with a cyclist, cycled back and forth from San Francisco to Santa Cruz, camping on the side of Highway 1.
Nice.
Yep.
And you had, when did you get the tent? When did that?
In LA, right when I arrived in California.
Okay. I don't even, they must be selling something.
I think it's election day here in Nepal.
Okay. Got election trucks driving down the hill, selling us on some politician. Anyway, so this whole time you were going up, heading up North California, were you aiming for Tahoe, or were you aiming for anything?
I was aiming for Tahoe. I'd heard it's a great place to work for a season, to save a little bit of money, and it's supposed to be beautiful. It is beautiful.
Did you stop in San Francisco?
I did, yeah.
On the way?
Yeah, on the way. And made a few trips in and out of San Francisco.
Yeah. So after you went to Tahoe, you went back to San Francisco?
Yeah,
times?
it was a good escape from quiet little bubble of Tahoe to big city.
Yeah. So from San Francisco, you go directly to Tahoe? Or do
I
you,
did, yeah.
You don't stop in Sacramento?
Not much for me in Sacramento.
Yeah, not much for anybody. Right, Aaron? Yeah, Sacramento has some decent beer. That's about it.
Oh, right.
So when you got to Tahoe, did you have any kind of... We picked the perfect time to record this episode. Let's let everyone just jam out to this for a second. All right.
That's Nepalese election.
Yeah. Vote for that guy. So, losing my train of thought here. So, you get to Tahoe, and you have no plan?
I had no plan. I had been in contact with a couch surfer who said I could stay for a couple nights. I turned up to his house, and he had a couple friends there who just arrived the same day from Arkansas. They were doing a hitchhiking trip.
Okay, so you turn up to this couch surfer's house, and those are other couch surfers that turned up, or his friends from Arkansas?
They were friends that he'd met. And they were leaving the next day to go to harvest season up in Humble.
Okay.
At this point, I had maybe $60 to my name at most. I was kind of desperate to get a job.
Yeah.
And they said, hey, you want to come trim for a week?
Oh, cool.
Perfect.
Had you heard that harvest was going on up there? Or
Yeah, I'd heard, but I mean, I found it was really difficult to kind of get a foot in the door without knowing anybody or knowing who to talk to.
Exactly how it happens is how it happened to you.
Right.
Someone's like, hey, this is going on. Want to come?
Yeah, which was perfect. So we drove up to Humboldt together. I stayed for a couple of weeks and earned some money.
And then back to Tahoe?
And then back to Tahoe.
Did you hitch back down, or were you able to cruise back with those guys, or get another ride?
Yeah, I got another ride from someone who was at the trim camp.
Oh, okay. They were going to Tahoe?
Yeah.
That's lucky.
Going that way. They went a little out of the way for me, but yeah.
Oh, cool.
And at this point, I'd been in contact with a friend of a previous couch surfer I'd stayed with, who said I could stay for a few days while I figured out, a more permanent living situation and found a job. And I got there and we got on really well. And turns out she had a little truck that she said I could stay in exchange for snow removal for the winter.
Exchange for snow removal? Just shoveling her driveway? Or?
Yeah, just shoveling her driveway and shoveling her roof.
Oh.
Which was a lot of work, but it was rewarding and it was better than rent.
Yeah, and you had a free truck to stay in.
Yeah.
And you said you had like a little heater or an electric blanket or something?
Yeah, I had a little electric blanket which I would plug in on cold nights and wrap up in like a sleeping bag, and it was great. Kept me warm.
So you were doing that by day, and then you were lifty, right?
Yeah, at a ski resort not too far.
So then, how often did you actually ski?
Every day I worked.
Every day?
Pretty much every day, yeah.
And did you work almost every day, or like 3-4 days a week?
Yeah, I was working 7 days a week, 4 days a week doing lifting, and then a couple days doing housekeeping, which was paid a little better. It was easy work.
Yeah. You said it was just like rich folks' homes, dusting, more or less.
Cleaning clean homes.
Yeah, it is funny how people just like clean their house before someone like you gets there.
Yeah,
so it
before anyone turns up.
Clean it for the cleaner.
Yeah.
Huh. So that was, what, 3-4 months altogether?
Yeah.
There in Tahoe?
About that.
And then what happened after Tahoe? I mean, you're here now, but what? Is that the plan? Or?
Yeah, well, I was getting itchy feet again, sitting in Tahoe, being in one place for a while, getting ready to move on. I'd always wanted to go to Nepal. Heard of stories of my parents being here, so that was it. That was the next place to start.
Yeah.
Booked a flight, and now I'm here.
Sweet. That was out of San Francisco, right?
Yeah.
Cool. And we both got here pretty much the same time.
Yeah.
More or less within a day or two.
Mm-hmm.
So when is it going to be 2 years? Like, when did you leave London? What day was that flight?
I think it's the very start of June 5th or something. So right now we're in May, so...
Yeah, you're like a month away from 2 years.
Yeah, 1 month short.
Cool. And what's your plan from here?
Plan from here?
Or idea?
Yeah, I wouldn't say plan. Idea is better. But I'm going to go down south to India. Probably just see northern India this time because monsoon's rolling in. And then head up to China. Maybe into Mongolia. Maybe into Russia. I don't know.
Yeah. Starts getting hairy when you're talking too far in the future.
Right, and those are all very big countries.
Yeah, a lot to see.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think you'll do some hitchhiking here or in India?
Yeah, you've inspired me to try hitchhiking in Asia a little more.
Yeah. We haven't had much opportunity yet here in Nepal.
Yeah. Maybe tomorrow or the day after.
Yeah. We're planning on walking to some town. I think, what do you say, it's 11 Ks from here? Not
I think so. It's
super far. That might only actually be like a couple hours walking.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe there's things to stop and see.
Yeah, that's true. We'll figure it out. Yeah, we wanted to go like hiking in the mountains, but it seems like all the mountains you need to have like all kinds of different permits. Like you need something called a TIMS permit, which is some acronym that stands for screw you, pay us $20, I think.
Sounds right.
And then a lot of the places charge like a conservation fee or a national park fee. Basically, it seems like you got to pay $40 or $50 just to go hiking, like almost anywhere decent. But we'll see. We might try to find a way somehow. Just show up and sneak past the checkpoint, or figure something out. But Do you think you'll hitchhike in India?
I think so. I mean, it's a little intimidating. Everyone's always told me since I first mentioned I want to go to India, don't go to India on your own. But
Yeah, you mentioned trying to look like a man on a motorbike. Still one option.
yeah, that's an option. I was thinking about buying a motorbike, but problem is women don't really drive motorbikes in this part of Asia. So my plan was to dress like an Indian man might dress, put a helmet on, and no one notice.
Wrap your
See if that
backpack
works.
up in cardboard, I guess, or
Yeah,
something.
try and be inconspicuous.
Yeah. Well, you've got a 3-month visa in Nepal, so you can stay that long if you want to.
I do. I've got a little more time. I mean, we'll see if opportunities arise where I want to see more. We've only just sort of scratched the surface of the country. There's a lot more to see and do, but
Yeah. And how long is your visa for in India?
6 months.
6 months?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mine's just a month, just because I wrote month on there.
It could have been 10 years.
No, I didn't know that same exact price. Could have wrote 10 years down.
Yeah.
But I'm going to be... My flight is on the day it expires, too.
Better not be late.
So, I don't... Yeah, I also don't know if it is done that day and, like, you're screwed, or if, like, that's the last day you can be in the country.
Well, I hope it's the latter.
Yeah, we'll see. All right. Anything else you want to tell the great people of the travel world?
No, I think you probably cover it.
All right. Cool. Well, thanks to India for doing that interview. And I hope to do a lot more interviews here pretty soon. I've got plenty of other ideas for episodes lined up. Stuff I can do on my own, like talking about Google Maps for travel, talking about just using Google for travel altogether. I'm going to do a whole series on travel finance as well, which I think a lot of people will be finding pretty interesting. Several part series like spending money, making money, handling money, different episodes for all that. But I'm really looking forward to doing some more interviews, even some longer interviews, and with all kinds of different people. But some of those just require that I have a better internet connection for the people I want to interview. I'm not with. I got to do over Skype or something. So, yeah, good solid internet has been kind of a rarity so far here in Nepal. But we'll see. Figure it out. I'm actually recording this. You're hearing my voice right now. It's May 7th Nepal time, but I might not actually upload it for another day or two. There's no internet up here on the farm or something, but be walking down the hill today or tomorrow, most likely. So get some more of that up. Other than that, feel free to email me with whatever questions, comments, how you liking the show, other episodes you'd like to hear about, people you want to hear me interview, whatever. freestyletravelshow@gmail.com. And if you have an iPhone or otherwise use iTunes, please rate and review the show. That'd be awesome on Apple Podcasts or iTunes. If you're doing it through Apple Podcasts, I found out that you can't, if you're already subscribed to the show and you go to the show, like the rate and review option isn't there for some reason, I don't think. So you kind of just have to go to search Freestyle Travel Show, click on it, and you should be able to rate and review it there. And that helps us get into the new and noteworthy section and other stuff that just lets other travelers discover the show. So do that if you can. Otherwise, yeah, you can email me. You can find the show on Facebook, just Freestyle Travel Show. Just search for that. Twitter, just Free Travel Show, without the style, Free Travel Show. Yeah, and then you can always just find my stories on hobolifestyle.com. About 10 years worth of stories, advice, all kinds of stuff. And yeah, also on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram, everywhere is Hobo Lifestyle. And yeah, the picture, I'll post a picture of this farm and the view that we have because it's pretty amazing. So I'll post that on a bunch of those places too. So check it out. And that's a wrap. So I will see you down the road with some more stories and good stuff. Cheers.